Congruent angles. Angles that have the same measure. They are equal. Vertical angles are opposite and congruent. Adjacent are side by side. Complementary are two or more angles that add up to 90. Supplementary is two or more angles that add up to 180. So let's assume that this is a complementary angle. Remember, a complementary angle is two or more angles that add up to 90 degrees. So let's say that we know this angle here, 25, but we did not know this angle. To find the missing angle, you could say x plus 25 equals 90. Then to solve, you would have to subtract 25. So we would borrow, and we would get 65. So x equals 65 degrees. Adjacent just means two angles that are side by side. So these are also adjacent. These are adjacent. Supplementary is two or more angles that add up to 180 degrees. So let's say that I knew that this was 48 degrees, but I did not know this one. So I could say 48 plus x equals 180. So I would subtract 48 from both sides, borrow, and get 132 degrees. So this angle is 132 degrees. Now, vertical angles are opposite and congruent. Opposite and congruent. Okay, so let's say that we know this is 30 degrees. We should be able to figure out the measure of this angle, and this angle. So the first thing is based upon vertical angles. If you have two intersecting lines, you create opposite and congruent angles. This angle equals this angle equals this angle. So if this is 30 degrees, this is also 30 degrees. This is a supplementary angle or a straight line, which is 180. So you could say 30 plus x equals 180. Subtract 30. When I subtract 30, I get 150. So this is 150 degrees. Based upon vertical angles, if this is 150, this is 150. Vertical angles are opposite and congruent. Alright, so let's take a look at this. AFB. So AFB is this angle here. Let's highlight it. AFB. AFB and blank are vertical angles. The one opposite from it is DFE. Okay, AFB and blank are adjacent angles. It could either be BFC or AFE, or some other variation like BFD or BFE. It could be a variety of answers. Let's just go with BFC. So angle BFC. Okay, AFB and blank are supplementary. So we have to add up to 180. So we could say BFD. that's not the only answer choice. We could have also said A, F, E. So there's a variety of things. Okay, we are going to now solve for X and all the other missing angles. So this little box here indicates that this is 90 degrees. Well, if we know this is 90 degrees, we also know that all of this is 90. So based on complementary, we can say 90 minus 50, and we get 40. So X is 40 degrees. Now, based upon vertical angles are opposite and congruent. If this is 40 degrees, this is 40 degrees. Okay, we can do supplementary next. So supplementary is that a straight line equals 180. So 180 minus 40 will get me 140 degrees. So we have just figured out all of the missing angles. All right. So we've already figured that out based upon that. Okay, let's go to the next one. Name a pair of supplementary angles. There are tons of examples. So let's just go with one example. We'll just use this one. So we'll say angle EGF and FGB. Is this the only example? No, there are tons of examples. So let's do a pair of vertical angles. So if we do, let's just do EGF again, angle EGF, and let's do BGC. Remember, they are opposite and congruent. And it says find the measure of CGD. Okay, so we want the angle measure CGD, this one here. Well, we're actually going to solve all of the missing angles. So let's do, if this is 90 and this is 35, we can either say 90 minus 35 or 90 plus 35 minus 180. Let's just say 90 minus 35. So we're going to borrow. And we're going to get 55 degrees. Based upon vertical angles are opposite and congruent. If this is 55, this is 55. If this is 35, this is 35. If this is 90, this is 90. So our missing angle is 55 degrees. Okay, flip it over to the back side. All right, so we have 2x plus 48. So this is a supplementary because it's a straight line. So we're going to set up the equation 2x plus 48 equals 180. We are going to do the order of operations in reverse. So we are going to subtract 48. When we do that, we get 132. Okay, the 2 and the x are multiplying. The opposite of multiplication is division. This cancels out. We're going to say 132 divided by 2. It's going to go in there 6 times. And it's going to go in there again another 6 times. So x is 66. But they don't want to know what x is. They want to know EHF. And EHF is 2x. So we have to do 66 times 2. We get 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. So EHF is 132. All right. Okay, we have 35 plus 4x plus 7 equals, this time, 90. First, I want to combine like terms, so I want to combine 35 and 7. So 35 plus 7 is going to get me 12. We have 42. So 4x plus 42 equals 90. We're going to subtract 42. We're going to borrow. We're going to get 8. 48. Then we're going to divide both sides by 4. So we're going to get x equals 12. Now remember, that's the measure of x, but we want to know what is zxy. So we have to take the original 4x plus 7 and we're going to substitute in. So 4 times 12 is 48. Then 48 plus 7, so 8 plus 7 is 15. We're going to get 55 degrees. All right. Okay, so remember, this is supplementary. It's going to add up to 180. So 3x plus 54 equals 180. We're going to solve using the reverse order of operations. So we're going to subtract 54 from both sides. We're going to get 6 to 126. The 3 and the x are multiplying. The opposite of multiplication is division. This side cancels out. We're going to do 126 divided by 3. It's going to go in there 4 times, and it's going to go in there 2 times. So we get 42. Now that is the measure for x, but we want to know JML. So we have to do 42 times 3, because it says 3x. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. So we have 126. All right, let's go to example 3. So on example 3, we have x plus 70 equals 180. Okay, we combine like terms. We get 2x plus 70 equals 180. We're going to do the order of operations in reverse. So we're going to subtract 70 from both sides. We're going to get, 110. All right, then we are going to divide both sides by 2. So 110 divided by 2, go in there 5 times. 5 times again. So x equals 55. And we want to know what the measure of each base angle is. So it is 55. All right, let's take a look at the last one. Okay, on the last one, we are going to have x plus 3x plus 80 equals 180. X plus 3x is 4x plus 80 equals 180. We're going to subtract 80 from both sides. We're going to get 100. We're going to divide both sides by 4. So we'll get x equals 25. Now that's the value of x. Now if we do b is 3x, so 25 times 3, 15, 75.